I'll just kind of listen in, and it should be very interesting.
And freak out and interject.
Okay, welcome to the B-side of the YouTube podcast. This is going to be a short, air quotes short. You can't see me doing it if you're listening, but if you're watching, air quotes short episode, because we're talking about the Joshua Tree tour and the rehearsals that are happening as we record. Mr. Matt McGee is joining us collectively, me as well, and while he's joining us, he's also listening, getting emails with updates. So
one of our readers who is not on Twitter somehow, Steve K, who sent us information years ago, or 2 years ago, when they were doing the IE rehearsals as well, is sending in stuff via email. So it's a little unusual.
So not Periscope. We can't share it, but yeah, it's happening.
Retro, just like 1987.
And to Matt's...
Although we didn't even have email then.
Yeah, I'd be faxing it in maybe. Matt's right is Tassoula joining us, and above, we're going to go quick here. Above Tassoula, to my right, your left, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Over there is in the hat. Stage left is Sherry with the hat. What's with everybody. The hat, Sherry? Somebody messaged me and said, "What's with the hat?"
Well, I figured I was channeling my inner outlaw, seeing as we've been eavesdropping in on some rehearsals. So that's what I'm doing. This is my inner outlaw.
Put the wig on, please.
Yeah, you need at some point put the wig on.
Just real quick, just to entertain our readers. They're taking time out of their day to tune in. I was
going to say you should make it a Patreon reward. Someone donates to my Patreon campaign.
I was going to go all Alton Dalton.
Look at that. That is fantastic.
Wow.
No, I liked it the other way with the label in the front. That looks even more.
Wait, we lost viewers. No, I'm just kidding.
That is a great look right there.
So we're 1 week and change away from the start of this tour, and as of yesterday, as we record, Tuesday, April. It's been a long night.
You're so Canadian.
Maple Donuts, May 2nd. U2 has apparently, we're assuming, I mean, we have no visual, but we have lots of audio that U2 is rehearsing inside BC Place, which you can see a visual of if you're watching us live. So we are just gathering to sort of debrief and catch up and maybe tell you folks, who, if you're living under a non-U2 rock somewhere, about what's been going on. So I don't know. I know you're all jumping at the bit here. Tassoula, you had a good sort of rundown of what we should run through the podcast on. Where do you want to start?
Uh-oh. Well, we should start by saying this whole podcast is a spoiler. So if you don't want to know anything, this is the time to turn us off. Turn us off right now, because it could get you into a lot of trouble with your good friends. But the first thing, what was the first? Gosh, I made that whole little list this morning, and now I can't even remember what I put on it. I think
Pride.
You were shocked that they were playing Streets.
So no, you're right. The first.
And you're wondering where Acrobat was, I think, is what your biggest complaint.
You want me to talk? I'm going to talk right now.
They're rehearsing Mothers of the Disappeared right now.
Matt
off. They legitimized enough, Matt. Enough. They legitimized some of our predictions by rehearsing Pride, Sunday Bloody Sunday, and New Year's Day. All songs that came before the Joshua Tree, which we may think they are going to open the show with, and Pride specifically went into Streets. So that may be our cue that's what they're going to lead into the album with.
Do they? I find it shocking that they even need to practice Pride at this point, to be honest. But I know they're practicing like segues and stuff.
But if they're practicing the segue, exactly, yeah. It's like, why are they playing with or without you? I mean, seriously. But they haven't played it, into the next sequential song in 20 years, 30 years. So.
Yeah. The other one thing that you had mentioned that made me note of was lighting. So thanks to Bjorn on Periscope, at pbear1979 on Twitter, and I think the same handle on Periscope, but so we'll put it in the show notes if we can.
I think it's spelled out different. Polar Bear.
Oh, okay.
It's Polar Bear, because I couldn't find him on Periscope for like 10 minutes, and it freaked me out. But anyway.
So he was setting up shop near the stadium and basically streamed for hours yesterday. Yeah. So thanks to Bjorn there, and we were able to see the lights of the testing the lights or whatever. So lights of exit mirroring what they did in Rattle and Hum, right? Or it appears, maybe.
Yeah.
It looked like it.
It looked
flashing
like it. It looked
light on and off.
Exactly. White, like strobe light. It was
right.
Brilliant. Are we going to hear from Bjorn?
We do. We have some audio from him. I'm trying to think if there's anything else before we actually here. We'll just play it because I didn't actually even get to listen to all of it. So,
hi, this is Bjorn. I've been hanging around here in Vancouver for the last couple of weeks. I work as a consultant and travel to Vancouver from Monday through Thursday every week, and my hotel just happens to be right across the street from BC Place. And the last few weeks have been just a real blast. I've been outside BC Place watching tinted vans come in and out and trying to figure out who might be behind the vans. I saw a private plane last week, which I think was very likely to be one of the band members arriving. And then finally on Monday night here, we had some rehearsals going on. We saw lights from inside. It looked like it was just visuals and lighting cues being rehearsed, which was still just mind-blowing to watch from my hotel room and take pictures of. And then last night, or yesterday rather, they started rehearsing at BC Place, and I was able to set up my iPad from my hotel room window and just crack the window just enough that sound could come through and be able to broadcast on Periscope for everyone. So hopefully everyone's able to see that tonight. I'm going to keep broadcasting. I've been hanging around the entrance to BC Place as well, but for now, none of the band members have stopped by to say anything. The cars have just been going in and out straight into BC Place and out of BC Place without us seeing any of the band members. A few fans have started gathering around there. Some folks hoping for autographs or just to meet the band, but it's a pretty small crowd for now. But definitely they're getting some attention with the rehearsals. And I will say last night at around 9:30 p.m. when they started running through the Joshua Tree stuff, it was just a mind-blowing experience. So we'll I'll keep my Periscope going tonight, going home for the weekend, but I'll be broadcasting next week to whatever I can. So enjoy, and look forward to seeing hopefully as many people as possible on May 12th.
Awesome. So thanks, Bjorn.
What a dedicated hero he is.
Yeah, what's the saying? Not all heroes wear capes. So Sherry, you'd posted the Vancouver Sun even referenced his Periscope stream or something?
Yeah, that at one point he had over 6,000 viewers. So it was going global.
Yeah. So hopefully nobody from management over with you two is trying to hunt down which hotel he's in or whatever. You have to think at this point, the band where they are, and that, like, both in terms of their age and like whatever in the world, that, and they're also rehearsing in a football stadium, that they can't really do much about that. Like, because what are they going to do? Like, put a cone of internet Wi-Fi silence around the whole stadium, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Before the 360 tour in Barcelona, they did some of the rehearsals in a back, like underneath the stadium, or like out of sight and sound. And I remember that kept us kind of guessing leading up to 360. But obviously, yeah, I mean, you're right. There's no way that they should have any expectation that people are not hearing this right outside the stadium.
Yeah.
Especially when they break noise curfew and people start calling and complaining.
Yes.
Who complains about hearing free U2 music is what I want to know.
I love that. It's kind of exciting knowing that for Bjorn, it was like mind-blowing just in his hotel room, not even seeing the band and being with, however many thousands of people are going to be in the stadium. But then, so it's going to be even that, obviously that much better when we're all gathered together in the stadium hearing this stuff. Like, what are some of the songs that, again, spoilers, obviously all up and down here, but what are some of the songs that you folks are most excited about that you heard that could potentially be in the live concert?
I was pretty stoked for Ultraviolet. Given the amount of content that's kind of on the darker side, Ultraviolet's a nice palate cleanser to sort of break up all that darkness and try to allow in some of that light, some of that hope. So I'm really stoked about that one if it stays in the set list.
Anyone else? Anyone's excited? No, Matt, you're just listening to music,
Tassoula?
aren't you?
I mean, I feel like I guess not everybody was on Periscope last night. The stuff I was freaking out about was the JT stuff, just because I haven't heard most of the latter part of the album live before, and so hearing just a few bars of One Tree Hill and Exit was just so moving.
Oh God,
and
the
it's
bass line and
ridiculous.
Exit.
The bass line, right? Immediately goosebumps, and it's like, if this is what it's doing to me in a in a venue that I'm not even in the same country as, that I'm listening to by someone's iPad that's propped up next to a window a week before the show, before it's been polished, like, what am I gonna like need a defibrillator on site? I think I might. Like, this is huge.
Well, I loved.
know that.
I mean, go ahead, Sherry.
Oh,
All right.
I know that some.
On the count of three, both of you. Talk.
One at a time. Yeah.
You go.
This Sarajevo was a surprise to me, and I know that a few people pinged on Twitter, why would they pick Miss Sarajevo? And I think it's because they're going to use it for what's going on in Syria. I think Sarajevo was to the Zoo TV tour that they're going to continue on that message about the refugees, about Syria on this tour. And I think that Miss Sarajevo is going to be used in that way.
And they use Pavarotti for the piped in Pavarotti instead of Bono for the solo.
Well, it could just be because Bono's protecting his voice right now. I mean, he's going to be doing
but there
10
was
solid days of
a lot of
rehearsal
people
before
on
opening
the
night.
feed were like, good, don't let him do it because it'll wreck his voice if he does it every night, and we need him to do Red Hill Mining Town. So
Which he
And keep
did.
him off a
that.
bike.
I like
Yeah.
Pavarotti, so I'm fine with that if they pipe that in. Makes sense to me.
Okay, Matt.
You're muted still, Matt. I think.
Oh, sorry, I am muted
listening to
because I have
It was such
that
glee.
because I have that breathing problem that
Yeah,
we
no, Matt likes to
discovered
breathe.
on the
Apologies to the
last
podcast.
Like a bad 900 number.
He's just excited
No,
for
Sure,
Star
that's
Wars.
not
Look.
because of Exit?
Like Ultraviolet's one of my all-time favorite songs, so I was
Yeah.
just I couldn't believe it last night when they played that. Surprised by Miss Sarajevo. Glad that New Year's Day made it because I love that song, and I agree with what Tassoula said as well, and about the Joshua Tree songs. And I thought Red Hill Mining Town sounded terrific. And there was
fantastic, right?
there was like earlier in the afternoon there was an Instagram post where it sounded like a quieter version, like because Bono was singing over a piano, and then last night during the evening rehearsal I couldn't hear any piano in the full band version of Red Hill Mining Town, but that could just be because it's Periscope and you don't hear all the nuances of the song, but I thought it sounded fantastic.
I was also thrilled that they brought in the El Pueblo Vencerá at the end of Mothers of the Disappeared. That we may end up seeing that carry over from previous versions of the song.
So Chris had the strongest reaction to that. I want him to speak to that one.
Oh no, it's one of those songs that I've never heard live, but I listened to. I think where was it? Fabiano can probably correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's listening, but it was in where it was the bootleg recording of where it was that I'm trying to Chile, yeah. And I'm referencing Fabiano just because he's in South America and whatever. Anyways, but the hearing that live, I think, and realizing like I've heard it live lots, but realizing that I'm actually going to see it live is the bigger part of it. The oh wow, this is going to be awesome kind of moment. And like you said, Exit as well was similar. The set list that Adam had posted way back when on Instagram, right? That Tassoula you were referencing too. Is that sort of lining up with what's happening right now, or is it kind of just a few songs here and there that are matched up?
Actually, a lot of it is line. I actually went back to it when I first heard when somebody pointed out that one was last on his Instagram post, and that was the only song for the record that I was disappointed to hear. I was like, oh God, no, not again. And everybody's like, yeah, it's gonna be one karaoke for the Exit, and I'm like, son of a bee, that is not what I want to go home to. But anyway, aside, yes, there was a lot of there was a lot of similarities in his list. I don't know if they were exactly in order. I can't remember if they were in order, but I think some of the ones that we mentioned, like Sunday Bloody Sunday and things, were on that list.
Yeah. And then
I was just going to say, we should also mention that there's some mystery thing that we don't know that sounds like perhaps one of the new songs. And I think U2 Start tweeted out that it's the little things that give what's the name of it? The little things that give you away, or something like that.
About right.
Read it closely, and I'm out of. I can find
it's the new song that Bono has been jabbering on and on about in some of the recent magazine interviews and TV interviews. It's his favorite of the new songs, and they did it in the afternoon. They did it again last night, and it sounds really, really cool to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, the little things that give you away.
It sounds like, thank you. It sounds like something else, and I can't place it, and it made me nuts I must have listened to that stupid clip like 16 times, maybe 20. I was so furious. And I kept thinking I heard the word forgiveness over and over and over again. So I was Googling songs that have that line because I thought maybe they're just covering somebody else's song. And anyway, it was a long night.
Yeah, there's no reason why they would be covering Don Henley's The Heart of the Matter.
I didn't think it was Heart of the Matter. That was a good guess, but I didn't really ever think it was that. I don't know. Anyway. And that came out in 89. If they were going to do something for 87, like I said, George Michael Faith was the next most successful album besides theirs. He died. Perfect timing to bring in some George Michael. So.
No, based on what they rehearsed last night and the potential for there only being, between 18 to 22 songs in a set list, there stands the potential that this could be the first tour since 92 that we do not have until the end of the world. Thoughts on that?
That hurts because that's like my favorite Octung song live, that by far. So I hope they do it, but if they don't, I understand, I guess. I still think Zoo Station would be the best thing to do after they end Mothers That Disappeared, but
that would be so epic,
wouldn't it?
Yeah, and anything else that's coming? Matt, you're saying you're getting live updates and stuff from their recordings right now, but anything that's happened that's new that wasn't previously heard before we sort of...
No, you mean for this afternoon? Nothing yet. I haven't had an email in the last 16 minutes, so he's either been arrested or or maybe
we're going to be sending bail money soon for him. No, there were two songs phantom songs that people kept thinking they were hearing last night. There was more than 5 people that thought they heard lines from City of Blinding Lights. To me, that makes no sense whatsoever for this tour. So I don't think they did, but I wasn't there and I wasn't on when they heard it, so I can't say that they didn't, but I would be very surprised if that was in there. And then Love is Blindness, which may have been what was mistaken for the new song. And I would love to hear Love is Blindness. Why don't they just end with that? I mean,
right. Sarah in the chat room says if they sing Love is Blindness, I will self-implode. So
hey, I'm right there with you, Sarah. And who said? Oh. Yeah.
So for those who are actively listening in on these streams and that, just be aware that because it is a rehearsal and that they're practicing songs and that they're practicing cues and hopefully Edge doesn't fall off a stage again, this is like watching paint dry. You're not going to get a full concert from beginning to end over a course of 2 hours. I mean, this is like 9 or 10 hours of listening to a little bit here, a little bit there, trying to fix a guitar sound, trying to get the drum beat to be echoing right. So, if you get a full song, consider yourself lucky right now because we're still too far out from opening night to have anything really tight and really solid. So everything that had happened last night, I consider us to be very fortunate to have had so many songs in a short amount of time after their dinner break. So, just be patient if you're watching a Periscope feed for 9 hours.
Yeah, and there's a good point being brought up in the chat room. I think it's Fabiano that's saying it.
Yeah,
Drowning
that's what I
Man
was just
was
gonna mention,
rehearsed, and it was never played on the 360 tour. Some of these songs, they could just be effing with us. They could just be marking their spots. They could just be testing their sound. I mean, we don't know. Like Beautiful Day was sound checked. Like I guess I get that if they're trying to like end on a positive note, that would make sense. But why play that? I love that song, but why play that on this tour?
Because it's one of their greatest. It's one of their greatest hits.
Because it's the greatest.
You've got a
hit.
stadium full of people.
Their whole album is greatest hits.
Well, I've
got a stadium full of people that know they're going to see an album that was recorded 30 years ago, and if they don't understand that, they shouldn't be in the stadium.
No, and fair enough.
How do you really?
You've got people.
It's just seriously.
You've got people who are going because of that album. They're not going to want to throw out songs that only 15 of us are going to need defibrillators for, and then everybody else goes to the bathroom.
Agreed.
I swear,
That's why Sunday's in there.
This is the greatest hits tour featuring the Joshua Tree.
No,
that's how I'm looking at it.
No,
that's what it will be. Yes.
I kind of agree too, because U2's always been kind of scared when it comes to the live setting of actually playing to the hardcore fans.
But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I've been pretty right with my predictions so far, might I say so myself. I was the first one that said they are definitely going to play the whole album. They did. They're going to play it in order. No, they're never going to play it in order. They're playing it in order. They're going to start with things earlier. I think they're going to start with things earlier. So I'm not necessarily on board for the greatest hits thing. But.
By the way, Larry, if you're watching this, I did not say grow a pair. She did. It was not me.
Hey.
Larry was walking around Vancouver just by himself. Apparently, I saw some Instagram.
I don't think that was him.
You don't think it was him?
I don't really think that was him.
He has enough of it
was him.
White dude profile to just be.
Look at the shoes. That was him.
Look at the chest hair. Sherry did an extremely zoomed in.
No, because it was from his
CSI.
back. we didn't see his front. We saw his backside, and trust me, that was Larry.
Ooh.
No comment.
So keeping it to a PG podcast, Fabiano was mentioning they should play Heartland. If I had my dream show and they weren't going to go into the Octung stuff afterward, that's what I would want the show to end on. I think Heartland would be a beautiful way to end the show. It should have been on that album.
So where
the
new
Spanish
song?
Eyes.
Let's get into the Josh Tree B-sides and see where we end up. Where does
fair.
the new song fit, though, in terms of if you're following some of those themes and they have this new song? Is that like the tease? Maybe that's like the way you go out? Is like, here's what's coming?
Could
or
be.
They're going to just do the greatest hit, like Matt was saying, Beautiful Day and Out
I think
whatever.
Well, I think was it during the Periscope thing last night that I kind of wondered about, because it was the last thing they rehearsed last night, and I just wondered, maybe you do the new song at the end to sort of, I don't know, maybe just preview or set the stage for the next album, the next tour, that sort of stuff. I don't know how it's a song that nobody knows. So does Bono do some sort of speech before the song and say, here's our last song, it's a new song. Well, yeah, of course.
They run.
Come on.
That was a rhetorical.
They run the lyrics along the bottom with little bouncing lemon, and we all sing along.
I like that.
Little bouncing Joshua Tree,
If we had a title for the show, Bouncing Lemons is a good one. Yeah.
All right. Anything else on the rehearsals before we move on to our other item on the agenda?
Nothing else except Bjorn is a hero.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Huge thanks to Bjorn.
Thank you for doing me proud, Bjorn.
Thank you, Bjorn.
Thank you.
Yeah. The other thing that just broke today that we thought we'd just chat about, that I haven't even seen yet, is the fan club announcement, right? That just who wants to catch me up along with the listeners?
Sherry does.
Well, it's about time. The bloody thing got announced, first of all. So I'll just say that it's a 4 vinyl collection. They're 10-inch vinyls featuring the 4 singles off the Joshua Tree. So still haven't found what I'm looking for. In God's Country, Where the Streets Have No Name, and With or Without You. The A side is the version from the original Joshua Tree in '87. The B side is going to be a live performance of that song. So the vinyl is not shipping until September. They put that in bold so that nobody complains that they didn't get it yet. And
that's just for you, Shay.
It's it's limited edition, 10-inch, and I think Adam might have been fighting for 12, but I'm not going to go there. So
oh, Sherry.
So my only thing, I had to give Adam some love there. So the only thing is that the Joshua Tree had 5 singles. One
They
Tree
did.
Hill was one of the singles, so it's not a complete Joshua Tree singles collection.
It was only a
That's all I
single
have to say.
in New Zealand.
But it was a single. I have it. I own it.
They should send the fan club in New Zealand and Australia the fifth single. That would be too cool. If
Yes,
just
they
those
should.
I agree with you.
Just
I agree
got
with
that.
you on
Wouldn't that be awesome?
They deserve it. Yeah.
Especially since they're not getting any live shows. So, anyways, and just real quick, like almost everybody seems to love the subscriber gift. We did a poll on Twitter about an hour ago. It's going to run for the next 24 or 23 hours now. Your thoughts on the new subscriber gift? 70% yay, 12% boo, and 18% undecided don't know. So I think this has the chance to go down as one of, or maybe the most popular fan club gifts so far.
Yeah, it's a good call.
That's very cool. And I think so. Like the where is it here? It looks like according to Aaron in our Slack, anyways, you potentially could buy it. It's $85 is what it says, and then a subscriber discount.
You shouldn't be able to buy it. You shouldn't be able to buy it if it's a fan club. They've never done that before, I don't think, have they?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what he's saying. I mean, someone can verify, I guess, if you've done.
Well,
your
that must
pre-order,
come with the subscription to the fan club.
Maybe that's what it is.
I would challenge that because that defeats the whole purpose of a fan club gift.
Yeah.
And I thought I read in the U2.com announcement it said you're not going to be able to buy this anywhere in stores. So
there you go.
Yeah. All right.
Who knows?
I think that's
How did we do on time,
else?
Chris?
I have no idea.
I've got 1 minute till my hair appointment. Woo!
I've got 30
Gotta
minutes
look
of
pretty
recording.
for Bono next week. Contact.
Yeah, my hair appointment is
it.
coming up later too. So
Manny and Petty is later.
Yeah. Go quickly around
Just put
the
on a
horn.
hat.
Yeah. Where can folks
good
yell
point.
at you on Twitter if they so desire? Start with you, Matt.
at Matt McGee on Twitter.
Tassoula
At Tassoula.
and Sherry.
At U2com Sherry.
And I'm iChris on Twitter, and you can follow the at U2 Twitter account is probably the best place if you can't find Bjorn on your own or whoever else might be streaming, periscoping at the time. Twitter.com/ATU2 and Facebook.com/ATU2com as well if you want to like us on there. You can find past episodes of this podcast at Goodstuff.fm/ATU2, and there will be a video version, technology willing, of this as well if you want to watch rather than just listen, but it's probably too late to tell you that now because you're at the end of the podcast. But Goodstuff.fm/ATU2/58 is where you can find the video version as well.
If they're really committed to going back and seeing us, they will.
Yeah, there's a lot of visual stuff going on that not the least of which is Sherry's hat. So,
but absolutely.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching if you're watching on the live stream, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Peace out.
All right.
Okay, I gotta go.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for coming.
See you guys.
Bye, Tech.
18 viewers. I think that's the most live we've had.
No updates from our man since
Well, it's
Mothers of the
because
Disappeared.
We're filming at